Hello, everybody, and today I'm reviewing Justice League War World. So, this came out, I think, last year, like summerish. So, it wasn't that long ago, but this movie, I gotta say, I was super excited for this movie, but I gotta say, this movie kind of also disappointed me. I'll get to that. Now, this ain't gonna be like a typical I'm angry video. Of course not. This is just me. I'm just gonna say my piece, and we'll see how it goes. So, this movie, if you here's a spoiler for Legion of the Superheroes. If you saw at the end credits of that scene, Batman and Superman get beamed away from something in the sky. We don't know what that was. Now, this movie answers it. This is why I was super excited for it. But I actually really do like the concept of this movie, even though this movie was very short. And I'll get to my issues a little bit, but basically, the spoilers for the plot. It's Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are trapped in some dreamlike world, and when the free meet up, they had to come together as they realize they're on a planet called War World. So we're gonna go through each of their stories. Let's start off. The movie opens with Wonder Woman. She's pretty nice looking in this in her sheriff uniform. Like, I'm pretty sure they made this because they thought it'd be cool if Wonder Woman was a cowgirl or something. But she's going through this town, and it's very shady already since there's a ton of gangsters. There's bars. There's and there's corruption. But that's where Wonder Woman meets Jonah Hex. So if you don't know who Jonah Hex is, he's basically this dude with this scar on his face. And I mainly remember him from Batman: The Brave and the Bold, and he's voiced by Troy Baker in this. So I think he does a good job of portraying the character, of course. Even though I don't know much about the character, but he's basically like a cowboy. But in this movie, he's revealed to be a villain. But it all starts with when Wonder Woman witnesses a family get murdered by one of the gang members, but then it leads to her getting into a big fight with these guys, and she uses her lasso of truth, and the people of this town view her as like a hero. But as she's going for the trials, she learns that Jonah Hex is evil, and he's trying to take over the town. And I gotta say, like, Wonder Woman versus Jonah Hex was cool. I never thought we'd see this in a movie like this. But I do like the scene where Wonder Woman's able to take down Jonah Hex once he starts shooting her bracelets, and she easily takes him down. And there's like a bunch of cool action scenes. It's like very fast pacing for what you see in Western movies. Since I don't know, this is like has a Western theme, and yeah, it's mainly alright to watch. And I think we do get a train sequence where someone's about to get ran over. One of the civilians almost gets ran over by a train, but Wonder Woman saves him in a nick of time. But I don't think Wonder Woman realizes that she's in some dystopian like world where she's trapped in this world. But it isn't until later in the movie when they figure out what's going on. But basically what happens next is that we literally get a flash forward after this flashback. I mean, not really flashback. I don't know why I said that, but I think after when Wonder Woman defeats Jonah Hex and saves the town, we then get this move on to the next story with Batman. So Batman, played by Jensen Ackles, brilliantly. He gets a brilliant performance. But he plays a sort of Tarzan, like, caveman Batman, where he's got this cool-looking armor on. It'd be like if Batman was a warrior in the dystopian, like, he's in, like, this dystopian jungle, dinosaur-like world. And the natives there are wondering where he's from, but they don't. He doesn't really give much since he doesn't trust them. He even makes a statement how he says like all men are evil. This ain't my some word saying. It's what Batman said in this. But this mysterious figure, I'll just call him Batman. But Batman basically is in this world, and the only way he can maybe get out is if he makes a deal with these adventurers who are in this world, and they're gonna go to some temple and make an exchange with like some guy. I forget his name. I'm sorry, but basically what happens is like they're going through the trials. They're trying to get to the temple, but they keep getting attacked by various dinosaurs. And this movie's rated R for some reason, but there's nothing really bad in this movie other than there were a few scenes where like Batman takes down a few of the dinosaurs and there's like guts coming out. I guess that's what granted the R rating. But as this is going on, Batman and this one blonde dude that kind of looks like Green Arrow, they go to this temple, as I said earlier, but it's a trap. There's various traps like any other temple if you watch Indiana Jones, but basically one of their goons walked through, but then he gets killed. But Batman and him managed to get through, and then the two kind of have like a big race towards they get to the pot of gold that they're looking for their exchange. But as they're going through the traps, they're quite deadly. There's this giant spike thing that almost crushes them. Yeah, and they're like, it's like crazy or something. But they end up finding the pot of gold. But that's where they find like a giant, this mystic looking dude. I forget his name. I'm sorry, but they basically have this long fight with him where they find various captured people in this pit. But basically, Batman and these people try their best to take down this guy. But then it's revealed later that we have someone that looks like Wonder Woman who also has a lasso of truth. And they use her lasso of truth to manage to take down this magic-looking dude. And they see like a gateway for their way out of this world. And that's that part for Batman. It was a little interesting. It got me some like Tarzan, Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones vibes a little. And it made me. I feel like maybe the animators are having fun with like seeing what Batman be like as Tarzan. Like I said with Wonder Woman earlier, it'd be like if she was a cowgirl, a sheriff, or something, whatever you want to call it. But that's where it leads to Superman's side of the story. Now I thought this would be like Batman. This scene's more suited Batman. We get this like film noir like world Superman's in, and he's a young detective or something. He's called Detective Kent, and he's led by one of his officers. And there's also Officer Wayne, and we know who that is. But what happens is like they've been reported to this one snow-like area that's told that there's some strange extraterrestrial beings at this bar. And they investigate. But it turns out all these aliens are actually revealed. The people in this place were the aliens the whole time. I know it seems like I'm kind of jumping with this movie, but I'm going straight forward with my analyst for this movie. But basically what happens is, as they're investigating, Superman is starting to get visions. He's starting to see little flashes of various like experiments done to him, and he's wondering what is happening. But as he's in this black and white world, he's starting to slowly piece together what's happening. And that's where we do meet Wonder Woman, who's also in this bar, who's revealed to not be an alien. But they all start to realize something is not right. Something's not as what they seem. And they start to piece it all together as they get into this cool getaway scene from the aliens. They ride in this like car, and they're trying to find their way out, and they're starting to figure out that they're not in this real world. But that's where they find like a portal, a way out. but they try their best to get through, but they manage to have a flash forward, and they literally all wake up, and it's revealed that Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are trapped. And like I said earlier, they're trapped in this simulation-like world. And it turns out the people that they met are actually clones that have been captured, and they're projecting in the people they're experimenting on as they're investigating. But the problem is, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman's minds have been wiped, and so they don't remember. But they're slowly starting to remember things. And that's where Bruce, or Detective Wayne, are managed to find their costumes. And he's like, this is suited for us. And they put on their costumes to get some memories, and they discover they do have powers. But as they were trying to get through this, they find what's revealed to be the person that's influencing their minds in this dreamlike world is Martian Manhunter, who's also been captured. And only he remembers them, but they don't remember him. And they're trying to figure out what's going on. And the cop from earlier, I think he ends up dying when he accidentally gets himself killed because he's going crazy after realizing what's going on. It's quite wild. And it's all revealed later in this movie when they tried to rescue Martian Manhunter. Batman was unsure about it at first, saving Martian Manhunter, but Superman's like, no, torture is wrong. And yeah, that's a very Superman thing to say. And so they do rescue Martian Manhunter. That's where they start to piece together what's going on. And Batman's detective skills are really kicking in once he figures out what's going on. But the villain of this movie is revealed to be, you guessed it, Mongul. If you know if you know Mongul, he lives on World. And I thought he'd be gigantic, because Mongul's gigantic in the comics and the animated stuff. But yeah, he's surprisingly very skinny. Not the body shame, but yeah, he's like a big bad. But as this is going on, they get into this big fight. And that's where we randomly see Lobo in this. Like, he randomly was hired to kill all three of them or something. That's where a big fight happens. But what happens during this is the Martian Manhunter literally sacrifices himself. I'm surprised they killed him off. I thought they wouldn't, since John Jones, he's an iconic part of the Justice League. And he manages to sacrifice himself to save Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. But they are rescued by who's revealed to be Harbinger. And I assume this is set up for Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'm actually looking forward to watching that. I heard it wasn't getting many good reviews, but hey, I'm going to judge it from my own narrative. But the movie ends, and that's Justice League War World. So, I said earlier that it wasn't my favorite of the Tomorrowverse. Like, I really like Batman, The Long Halloween, but I feel like the other movies have been decent. Like they're not my favorite, but I don't know. I just prefer. I think they put their more time in like The Long Halloween. But this movie, I felt like it was just a setup movie. Like, it was just meant to be set up for Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I heard Crisis on Infinite Earths is the last part in the Tomorrowverse, and it's sad that the universe started ending. It feels like it was already building itself up a little. But I guess that's my issue with this movie. I mean, most of it was kind of slow to watch, and it was kind of hard to figure out at times for this movie. But I think the story is really interesting, like with the whole Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman trapped in other worlds. And I don't know if you can really consider this a Justice League movie, but hey, we got other superheroes in this, so what makes sense is if it's them. So I probably give this movie like a 6 or probably a 6 out of 10. Like, it was fine for what it is, but I don't hate this movie. I don't. It was just I don't mind putting it on, because I've watched this movie a lot when I was renting it at my library. But yeah, I look forward to Crisis on Infinite Earths, and yeah, this Tomorrowverse has been fun. Yeah, slow but fun. But I don't know what I mean by that. But so sorry. But anyway, the next review will probably be Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham. So that being said, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.